Welcome to episode 3 of the Inspire Creator Series. As a new technology startup, we've reached out to creators from across the United Kingdom to share our product idea and build new relationships with creators. Today, we meet Marygrace Tropeano, model, actress, social media creator, and brand ambassador. Today, Marygrace talks us through what it takes to be a truly multifaceted creator, the importance of balancing priorities and family.
This is officially, I guess it would be podcast 3 that we're recording now. So, we're kind of learning about the format as we go. But yeah, I guess to begin with, please tell us about yourself and how you got into this space and how you're finding your journey.
So, hi everyone, my name is Marygrace. I am a model, actress, content creator, and digital entrepreneur. So how do I got into it? Creating content started for me during the pandemic. I've always been a creative. I've always loved putting myself into many things. But during the pandemic, I started to play around with TikTok. And then it basically blew up and that became a full-time job. And how do I find it? It's really entertaining. And it can be hectic sometimes.
What would you say? So if you could paint like a picture for me. So it's the pandemic and you're, in a place and and you make this decision, what was happening around you and what led you to this as an alternative?
So basically I was giving out my last exam for economics at my university. And I remember that there was a new song from Drake that released and everybody was doing dances to it. And I thought, let me do something different. Let me pose on the beat of this song. And basically nobody ever did that before. So I was the OG doing that. And I started this like Gen Z modeling on TikTok and everybody went crazy for it. So it started to get like 5 million views. The day after 3 million, the day after 4.5. So it was like a flow. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm trying to understand how this works. And I kind of like it. I mean, it's pretty cool. So everybody started asking me questions about how did you become a model? How are you starting? What should I do? And nobody really tapped into that niche. So I was the first one to do it. And then obviously the moment I do it, everybody came on board. And now it's like everybody is modeling on TikTok. But this is how it started.
That's amazing. And how did the views that you were getting start to impact your followers? Like, did you just wake up one morning? Was it like Emily in Paris where you woke up and suddenly the numbers are racking up, or?
No, it's like it takes. I remember I had like lots of views, and after my first video went viral, I think I got 10K followers.
Yeah.
And after a few more, I got my first brand deal. That was paid, and for me it was like, oh my god, that's amazing, which was a few quids. It wasn't even a lot, but for me it was like, oh, I'm getting paid to post a video. What is this? This is amazing. And yeah, after that it kept going with the algorithm. I kept having big engagement, so that converted eventually into followers, but it took its time.
What would you say was when you got that first brand deal? Like, where were you as a creator? Like, what was like your follower level like? What were your videos getting?
It was literally at the beginning. I had 12K followers. I had a really, really good engagement. Like I was making 100K views. I have to say that. Wow. But yeah, I did not have a brand personally. I didn't know what I was doing. I was really, I remember this email coming through and I was like, yeah, I can do it. I was like, I got this. Yeah.
Do you happen to remember like what that email said and like how you felt when you first got it?
I think it said like along the lines of, "Hi, Marygrace. We watch your content on TikTok. It was really amazing. It's really amazing to see what you're doing. We have this new sound that we would love for you to promote. It's from this artist. Let us know if you're interested. This is the budget." And I remember I saw this email, and I was with my mom at the time. I was like, can you imagine I'm getting paid to promote a sound? I was like, what is this? So yeah, no, I was super excited. And then I remember like 2 months later on the line, there was a big brand, a big fashion brand that reached out to me asking me if I wanted clothes, if I wanted to promote their clothes for free on my page. And for me, that was such a big deal. I was like, I'm getting clothes for free from them. I was like, life is good. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That's amazing. And how did it feel telling your mom? Because I imagine as an income stream, that might have been a little different to what she had in mind for you initially.
Definitely. She never wanted me to leave university. She said, I don't care what you do, you have to finish this degree. So I did finish the degree. But no, I need to say, like, for me, it was like new. It was something completely new. And like, I'm really grateful that I did it. Like, I think it's something that if you don't tap into it, you don't really understand how it works until you can actually, like, it's like physically, you don't really touch it, but you feel it. So,
yeah. 100%. I always find it so interesting, like how, like, income opportunities for us now are so different to what they kind of used to be.
Completely.
And it for my grandfather, for example, like when I finished university, I remember sitting in a coffee shop with him and my mom. I was in the gown, and he was just like nodding to himself, and I'm like, "Oh, what are you thinking?" And he's like, "I did it." And I'm like, I guess my graduation. I'm like, what do you mean you did it? He's like, daughters went to uni, you went. He's like, I smashed it. And I was like, what? But for parents, like that's the thinking. Like they want us just to get it done.
100%. No, it took my parents some time to fully understand how everything works. Like until I reached, even when I had like up to 500,000 followers, I think, even if I was getting income, they didn't still consider it like a full-time kind of thing. They were like, yeah, you're good at it, it's going well, but still have the backup plan.
Yeah.
Until then I closed my very first big deal. I was like, you see, this can work. we got this.
Oh, yeah. That really warms my heart to know that you got to show your parents that. And now that you've you've achieved these heights, is there a difference in feeling now versus like then? Because I imagine, you mentioned you kind of started a trend. I imagine creators look to your account for inspiration, and maybe it's like, for some people it's like the Ferrari, like they're like, oh, one day when I get to, how does it feel being where you are right now?
To be honest, it's not as exciting as it used to be.
Okay.
Because before, when I used to post, I didn't think about anything. Like if I didn't get views, I did not care. If I did not put valuable content, I did not care. If a brand was looking at my profile or not, I did not care. Now it's like a job. Like now there is the pressure of posting every day because people expect to see the content. That's why they follow me. At the same time, I believe that if you have followers and if you have people that follow you and watch your content, you have to provide valuable content, because otherwise, why am I following you? Because you're pretty? I can follow so many people on Instagram or whatever. So I feel the pressure of putting out content that can actually help people out somehow, whether it's modeling, whether it's motivation, whatever that might be. And at the same time, there is also the brand aspect, obviously, because now is a job. The clients that I work with follow me, so they watch the content that I put out. And depending on that and the views, also, they decide whether they want to work with me or not. So I think compared to before, there is a lot of pressure, like way, way more. The expectations, I guess.
Is that pressure comfortable? Like, is it a comfortable pressure, or is it like something that that makes you kind of question, the direction of your, I guess. And these aren't questions you have to. Oh, sorry. Let me just. These aren't questions you have to answer. By the way, I'm finding myself naturally curious. We don't have to go into this topic at all.
Yeah. No, I'd say like it's manageable because it becomes manageable. You have to make it manageable, or you don't make it. Because at the end of the day, nobody's like pointing a gun at you, at your head, is it? It's like you decided to do this. You're doing this because you like it, but it really, really makes you question whether or not it's something you really want to pursue and how you want to tackle it. Because, for example, in my case, I've never really wanted to be like an influencer or a content creator. Like, it wasn't in my plans. I didn't wake up one day and I said, I want to get millions of followers on social media and put my face out there. My plan was to do my uni and do the work that I was supposed to do. Then modeling happened, and then social media happened with modeling. But social media opened so many doors, because I have to admit what I have to admit. Like, I wouldn't be here without me blowing up on TikTok. So I said, well, now I'm at this point where obviously everything is like working together, because everything works together. So if I, for example, do a modeling shoot, automatically I have to post it on my social media, because I also get paid for that, and I need to make sure it keeps a certain level. So I don't know. I think it makes you question sometimes whether is it what you really want. So that's why I think it's important to stay true to yourself and don't post content that is just for anybody.
When you're, so like, for example, with Inspire, we're at the very beginning of our journey now. So like, even this morning was day one. I was in a park, and I have a friend, Oliver Lamb. He's a Paralympian. He's so driven, and he told me, when the idea comes, just film it. So, I started, and then I finished it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if that's good. Maybe I should do something different. And it just introduced all of these questions. So from your perspective, like, you talked about quality and, wanting to provide value. What is your barometer for that? And how do you like what filters, for example, are in your mind when you're making decisions around the creative and such?
So, I started out, so each platform is really different for me. Every platform I use it for something different. So YouTube, for example, started out more lifestyle. I started YouTube to showcase my personality. So that's how I try to do more vlogs. I try to keep it more fun. Instagram is 90% of the time more professional. That's just my portfolio, whether it is modeling, acting, business, whatever it is. So you might see a few cross posts, but most of the time they're really professional. And TikTok is the thing in the middle, is the between. And whenever I post, I plan on like what to post. First of all, I always ask my followers what they want to see. So I always make a monthly post, and I'll be like, guys, what do you want to see? Tell me and I'll recreate it, because I know what you want. I want to deliver that. Even if it's just for like 1,000 people, it doesn't necessarily have to be for millions of people to see. It's just like, if they want to know and they cannot find it anywhere and I can provide, why not? And how do I tackle this? I normally write a list, have a list of content that I want to make, any ideas that come to mind, anything I just write down. And then eventually I develop it into either something fun or something more professional, or that can help me out even with my modeling career. For example, I had this brief coming through for a brand deal with a fashion brand. And I could have just made a classic video on, how to get ready with me, wear the clothes, and that's it. That's the total outfit. Because they did not ask for anything. They just said, we give you the clothes, you do you. And I thought, let me do something completely different. And I turned it into kind of a commercial kind of video. Which I done on my Instagram, and that showcases that I can do commercials even for modeling. So I always use the 1+1 kind of thing,
That's right. And so it delivers value for the brand, for the audience, but also for yourself in terms of your other career ambitions. Got it. And so speaking of that kind of like cross-pollination, how does your social media activity influence your out of social media, like revenue streams, like modeling and such?
A lot. I mean, to be honest, is one of the main reasons I am what I am. I'm not gonna lie, because modeling wise, I got multiple agencies because of my social media. Because they want people that are known in the industry. It's easier for brands to associate them. So whenever I hire a model, for example, as a brand, and they already have followers, it's easier because I can convert that into sales directly. So acting wise, same way. Business wise is the main reason I opened the social media agency, because obviously I know how to go viral on social media, how to catch people attention, etc., etc.
Oh, think it might have just cut out. Let's give it a little bit of time to come back.
Okay, finally.
Cool. How you doing? What happened?
I'm not sure. I just turned completely black, and then that's it. You were gone. So great.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was my connection or yours. But yeah, okay, cool. You're back.
Probably mine. My apology.
No worries at all. Okay, so you were telling me about how the creating content directly feeds into your modeling career, and that as a result of it, you've been noticed by different agencies who have, wanted to work with you and such.
Yes, no, it definitely made a huge impact on everything that I'm doing now. I have to be grateful for social media.
And outside of this world, or maybe within this world, like, what would you say are things you find yourself passionate about, generally, or is it this, or are there other things you like to do as well?
So most everything that I do, I'm passionate about, and that's why I do it. Otherwise, I would not be doing it. Like modeling, I did not plan to start with modeling again as an adult. It just happened for fun, and then it developed into that, and I said, why not? Same with content creation, and same with acting and business. Something else I'd probably like to do, if I had time, I would love to paint, I think, but I do not have time to paint. So probably 4 years old, I'll go like somewhere in a mountain for like a year, isolate myself there, paint for a year, and then come back to civilization.
You'll do like I'm imagining you on top of a mountain, probably in France, doing like a big social detox.
Yeah, exactly. Like away from just with animals. I want like a farm whenever I'm like older. I would love that.
Yeah. Question for you. Let's say, for example, you did do a social detox. If you were like, let's say, not connected to the internet, would you still use that opportunity to create content for when you come back, or would you just focus on painting?
No, I will probably focus on painting. Nice. Even because that will develop my creativity. So I will probably come out stronger after when I come back. I will have so many ideas and ready to do it. Otherwise, I will not really rest. Because let's say I'm burned out. I want the social media talks and I'm still like working on it. I'm not really relaxing, am I?
That's a very good point. And I mean, I imagine you must get messages from, developing and upcoming creators all the time asking you for advice. Is that assumption?
Yes, it's correct.
How do you approach giving advice to someone? Because everyone's in a different starting point, a different kind of niche. Like where do you even begin with something like that?
So I try to be generic because obviously I don't know their personal story, I don't know their possibilities, their time, etc. And as a content creator, I will say probably the best advice I can give to someone who wants to start out is just put out content. At the beginning, just put out content. Don't think about views. Don't think about the quality. Do not think about anything, engagement, anything of the kind. And if you don't know, because some people don't even know what to post about, like some people have passions, some others they don't. I will just say anything at all that comes to mind. You're going to supermarket today, film that. You're drinking some water, make a content about how important it is to drink water on a daily basis. And once you put out like 30 to 50 videos, you start to understand what you like and what you don't like. And then you can start categorizing that. After you've done that, you're going to put out other 30 videos or the 50 videos. And out of these videos, there will be a few that will have better engagement, that people will like more. Maybe it's the style, or maybe it's something you said, and you will try to follow up on that. So this is how you then get to grow. Consistency is really, really the key.
Consistency, if you had to put like a frequency on that, let's say per week or per month, like what number would you assign there?
To be honest, at least 2 videos a day, if you want to stand out. Because at the end of the day, you are competing with so many people creating content. Like the attention span is literally 3 seconds. So even if if you're lucky, your video goes viral, you scroll, in a month, I won't remember your video unless you did something so crazy that everybody's talking about it. I won't remember it unless I save it, unless I rewatch it. So you have to keep this in mind. Your competition is brutal out there. And if you want to keep people's attention and keep them loyal to you, they have to constantly see you on their feed. It's like the advertising Coca-Cola. You see it every Christmas, you know that for Christmas there's going to be the Santa Claus with holding the Coca-Cola. Why? Because every December there is that ad. So
do you think that frequency criteria has changed? Sorry, that frequency criteria, has it always been that way for you? Or do you think it's tied to a factor like, for example, video and reels?
I think it became worse compared to before. I think before the pandemic, before TikTok went really viral, it was easier to post less because not everybody was on their phone 24/7. When pandemic happened and nobody could do anything aside from being on their phone. Everybody could not even stand spending time with their family or friends or whatever it was. So everybody was like incredibly like scrolling through social media. And then that became a must. And I noticed that even with my YouTube channel, for example, whenever I don't post for like a day or 2 days, or maybe I post a bit less, my followers like, Marygrace, we noticed that you're posting less. Is everything okay? Are you okay? Is anything happening? Do you need a break? And I'm like, guys, it's just a video. Come on. Everything is good. So, yeah.
That's really nice though, that you have like that connection with your audience, you know?
Yeah, it's really nice.
How do you, so, the connection is like, there's a direction of you putting content out there. In terms of you receiving, is it predominantly comments and things like messages, or are there other bridges that you built with your followers?
So, mostly it's like comments. I do lives as well. I should do more lives, but I don't have the time for it. So I try to do Q&As a lot, so that I can reply to them directly of whatever they're asking. But mostly, comments and videos directly to them. Like sometimes I reply with videos to the comments.
And in terms of if we had to kind of like rank where you spend your time. So, you've got modeling, you've got acting, you've got your business, you've got your social media accounts. So what I want to ask is like, if you had to rank them in terms of like your favorites, but I guess before I even ask that, is that a valid question, or are they all even for you? How do you?
They're all even. Honestly, all even. I spend a certain amount on everything every week. So I have like a very schedule day by day on what I want to do. Obviously, I have goals, things to do, tasks, etc. But I make sure, for example, if a week is really busy, that I know that I will be booked for modeling like twice or 3 times, and I cannot create content every day, then I might pick one day where I fully just create content that day, and I do not think about the rest. And same goes for the business and acting whenever I sell tapes, etc. So
And with at least the modeling and the social media, an assumption I have is that like clothing and fashion is something that interests you. Is that a fair assumption, or is it, because it could be other things?
I don't know. It's not. I've never been a huge fan. Like, this is what I'm wearing. I'm not like super fashionista. But I've always. I'm Italian. I grew up in fashion. I came from Milan. So yes. But I'm not obsessive kind of girl that buys the designer bag every month or anything over there. You will never find that in my house. But I like it. I like to dress with style, if you want to put it like that. So yeah.
Okay, cool. And with so much like kind of visual content, are you like a movie buff as well? Like, do you like watching movies? Is that a thing? Yeah.
Shows, movies, anime. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What would you say are your like top 3 favorite movies that you meant to refer to?
First one is La La Land.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I don't go crazy for the musical part, but the whole story and how they did everything in there, it's just epic. I really, really love it. Like, it's the whole concept of that. Second movie, let me think. Inception is probably pretty sick. It deserves. I can say that it doesn't. And third one, There are many. I don't know. How can I pick the third one?
Oh, okay. So the third one, let's create like a generic bucket. And so what
Okay.
are like what top 5 movies tend to come to mind for that third bucket?
Okay. I really like The Devil Wears Prada
Yeah,
because of Meryl Streep acting. I think she's insane in acting.
she's
Like her
amazing.
role, just that's what one of the first that came to mind. The other
Yeah,
one is Shutter Island, always from Leonardo DiCaprio. That was really, really good.
so
Epic movie.
trippy. Yeah.
Um, what else? Another one I cannot remember the name. That was really amazing.
What was it about, or the genre?
It was sci-fi.
Oh, God, there's a lot of good sci-fi movies.
Yeah,
Like horror sci-fi, like space sci-fi,
space
time.
sci-fi.
Not Event Horizon. No. Oh,
Maybe.
are you thinking Interstellar?
Maybe Interstellar.
Yeah,
Maybe
because Chris Nolan. Yeah. Interstellar. Yeah, Interstellar's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, there are many that are really good. But yeah, sci-fi is like my favorite genre.
Yeah.
Probably. So yeah.
What would you say is like your top sci-fi movie? If you had to recommend one, actually, what would be your top sci-fi movie?
My top ones. I'll probably recommend the one that did with Jennifer Lawrence, where she was stuck in space with the other famous actor.
Passengers.
Passengers is really good. I like that.
That is interesting. What would you say was about Passengers that got your attention?
I think, I mean, obviously he was a bit psychotic. But aside from that, I'd say is the whole concept that they're stuck in this space and she's not even aware of it until the end.
Oh my God. I just remembered the full concept of the movie. Yeah. Oh my God. Now, yeah, you completely reminded me how trippy that movie was, actually.
Yeah. So this kind of movies, like the trick ones, is my.
Yeah, you like the ones that have like a twist that's kind of like that leaves you a little bit like uncomfortable at the end. Yeah. Okay, cool.
But I really liked Escape Room a lot. I like Escape. I don't know if you watched that.
No, I haven't seen Escape Room before.
Watch it. It deserves it.
There's a movie. It's not sci-fi, but have you ever seen a movie called The Descent?
I think I have.
It's like the one in the cave, and it's like a few girls, and they're kind of stuck. They're cave diving, and they get stuck down there.
I think I did. I think I know which one you're talking about.
It's kind of scary, kind of trippy. It doesn't leave you feeling like
I think I know what you're talking about. Maybe I did.
With acting, because obviously there are various different categories. What category are you leaning your career to?
So ideally, I would love to play the kind of roles that Meryl Streep plays, like the bossy type of character. But because of my age, I cannot do that. So every time I'm given this like romantic or like drama roles, which it's okay. But yeah, ideally, I would love it to be more into that. Or sci-fi. I mean, I would love to be sci-fi as well, like Jennifer. Like Passengers, that would be amazing as a type of role.
What is it about acting that draws you in? Because it's a little different from some of the other things you do, or is it? Or do you find similarities?
I think the beauty of it. I mean, it can easily be mixed with what I do now, to be honest with you. But I think the first thing that really drew me into that was the fact that I could experience to be different people and somehow find a little bit of myself in it. That was the beauty of why I love acting a lot. Like today you're a doctor, the day after you're an aerospace engineer. And it's not just playing the part. You have to feel the part. You have to become the character. So at the end of the day, you get that bit of the character. And I think it's pretty cool.
That's so interesting because, as we've been talking, obviously prior to hitting record here, we talked a little bit about your business.
Yes, there are many things.
When I think of, we've only met today. When I think of, my mind is a little overly mathematical at times. So if this explanation is just weird, I almost imagine if you think of like a hexagon, for example, and imagine each side of the hexagon has like a grid. So suddenly there's like lots of. I feel like there's so many different parts to how you approach things. I can easily see how with acting, you would probably love the nuances
Yeah.
of each character and
Yeah.
the getting it. Okay, cool. That's so interesting. Have you ever had a role or something you've auditioned for that you found challenging like that? Like
Did. There was this self-tape it was with the movie for Bella Thorne.
okay.
And apparently there was this girl that had to play her like antagonist in terms of as a lover.
Mhm.
And I remember the scene had to you have to be in a bikini, but they didn't specify whether you had to be in a bikini because the scene was
Sure.
in this beach and
Mhm.
near a volcano. So I
Okay.
found it so hard because I thought about how the volcano would be. So you have
Yeah.
to pretend to look at it, but at the same time you have to be laying on the beach. And I was like, how am I gonna do this self-tape? Should I lay down? Should I stand up? There was no explanation at all. And I asked my agent and he was like, do whatever you want. I was like, great, we love that. So yeah, definitely the most challenging that I had.
Is that something that comes up? Because I feel like movies these days, a lot of it is not in the scene anymore. It's kind of like, look at a tennis ball or imagine something's there.
It's hard. I think one of the things is you have to imagine you're there. Like that's the thing. You have to be natural because if you act it out, you can tell you're acting it out. It has to be really be yourself and try to. How would you act if you were actually there? If you were imagining this, how I portray it, what would you do? What would you say? How would you feel? So and try to keep it as natural as you can.
So we've discussed a little bit on this call. You're quite busy. I feel like getting into what you've described, at least I obviously am not an actor, but I feel like it would take time to get into. So if you have to create content and then suddenly you've got this thing you want to do and there's a question mark on the time because you don't know how long it's going to take you to get into the role, how do you balance that with everything else, all your other responsibilities?
So that's a good question. Do I balance? That's a question to ask. I try. I mean, depends on what I have to do. Normally, I have a 24 hours at least deadline, so I can move things around. That's the good thing about this is flexibility. I can easily move things around, and it depends on what I have to prioritize. For example, during Fashion Week, I had a really busy. It was the busiest probably month of the whole year, which I expect because I got booked as a model. I had to attend events as a content creator, and I got asked a podcast and to give out 2 self-tapes for 2 movies. I was like, is this a joke? Did you all get together to get on me in a weekend? I don't know how to do that. And at the same time, I had to post content for the Fashion Week because during Fashion Week, you have to post on the same day kind of vibe. Otherwise, it loses out. Because there is a Fashion Week straight after another in another city. So yeah, that was a bit tricky. And I remember I did everything, but I said to my agent, look, the self-tape that I'm about to send you, I'm sending it just because I have to. Don't expect any more. Happy days, but yeah. So prioritize.
Prioritize. And I imagine this isn't something you do on your own, right? You've referenced your agent a couple of times now. Is there a team, even if it's not directly a support team behind you or people that you refer to get all these things done? How does that look for you?
So my biggest supporter is my mom. My mom is the #1 agent behind the scenes that nobody knows.
Okay.
But I will say my agents technically find me work. And obviously there is feedback, but not always. For the rep, it's multiple Marygraces. This is how I see it. I have categorized in my brain that there are different Marygraces. It's like a company. Marygrace is a company. And there is Marygrace that takes care of sales, Marygrace that takes care of organizing everything, and Marygrace that actually is you should do this in a different way. You should be taking care of that. So I try to be organized. It's kind of busy there.
Yeah. Would you describe yourself as a structured individual, or how do you see your?
Very. Yeah, I try not to be. I try to go with the flow sometimes.
Try not to be. Really? Okay.
But really,
Yeah.
I like, that's the thing. I know what I want and I go after it. So
Yeah.
I like to be really clear on what I'm doing. So, but I mean, it happened that I had to pull myself back and say, you know what, you have to take a step back and actually understand how to move forward. So
Are there parts of your life where you are comfortable with ambiguity, or maybe like I don't want to say directionlessness, but I guess ambiguity. Are there parts of your life that has ambiguity?
depends. What do you mean by that? Under which aspect?
Great question. Okay, so I'll give you the context behind the question. So everyone at work has always told me, like, wow, you're so organized, you're so structured. Even when I was doing my handovers, it's not uncommon for even my clients to be like, whoa, like, who structures their folders like that?
So are you structured then? Yeah.
But in my personal life,
Okay.
I've shown up to airports and completely forgotten my passport. I've been like I've been to the airport like an hour before my flight, and I have to like be dramatic at security so they let me through. Like it's like at work I had all that structure, and then in my personal life I think there just wasn't enough energy left, and so my friends don't know me with structure. They're like, Diego, honestly, get yourself together. So I guess I'm just wondering, like, are you always on, or is there a part like that switches off? And when is that part, I guess?
I think so I like to be most of the time, but obviously I'm human. I'm not a robot yet. So I'd say probably like family time for me is the time where I just let it go. Whenever I spend time with family, I'm like, I don't check my phone when I spend time with my siblings. I make sure that I'm there. And I think, I just go day by day. Obviously there is still the part of me worrying, like, oh my God, Marygrace, there is this issue. Like, it's okay. It's a week. Let's take it for the family. I think, I'm not perfect at all. I try to be organized and everything, but I think there are certain aspects where sometimes you cannot really, be organized. As you have the flow. But it's good. It's a good balance, Yeah,
you've got to have that. And so family time is like super crucial for you then, like getting together. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What does family time look like for you? Because I have in Australia a smaller family, so there is 4 to 5 of us that get together. Sometimes the 5th family member doesn't have time. So the way we break bread is, we'll go to my mom's house or my auntie's house, and we'll have. Normally, it involves a wine. That's how kind of like we break bread. I have friends who are more regular. So my friend Carla, she's Italian. Her mom is famous for feasts. Like Easter, birthdays, Christmas, pre-Christmas, graduate. Like Carla's house was like a temple for all of us at university. We'd all get in the car, road trip.
Right.
Her mom has set the bar for what a feast is. What is it? What is it like with your family? How do you guys break bread?
So for my family, it's spending us together time. Like, it doesn't matter what we do. It can even be just having dinner together. It's that time where we can all communicate and laugh out together. Even just go to the supermarket all together. Like, just stupid things like that. That's what like makes it so cool, I think, for me. Like, I'm really easygoing as a person, and sometimes my life can be really, not luxurious, but people have expectations. You have to have a certain profile, like Fashion Week, for example. You have to dress up, certain composure. Whether with my family, we're really like, whatever. So up in a pajama, anyone shows up in what, we don't care. We just laugh it out and we have time like that. So for me, that I think is the best that I can ask for. And I don't have that really often. So whenever I do, that's my time with them.
Oh, that's so nice. And Christmas, is Christmas like a big thing for you guys?
Especially my mom. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now we're skipping Christmas. Doesn't matter what we're all doing, we all have to be there for Christmas. So New Year, care, but Christmas is a must.
Yeah, Christmas becomes 100%. Yeah. Are there any Christmas traditions that your mom is like a really big fan of? That
Yes, lasagna every Christmas, and it's this particular lasagna that we do just in Sicily, and it's like
yeah.
favorite dish. So I literally eat it once a year, but it's like the best time of the year.
Mm,
That is a must, always, always. And
100%.
also, I made the tradition of doing the Christmas tree all together with my siblings with like music. It used to be.
What is the Christmas trail? Because I think we have that in Peru.
We have like the classic Christmas tree with like different lights.
The tree. Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought you said trail. Okay, cool. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. No, because in Peru, the reason I thought you said trail is because so I was born in Peru, but I moved to Australia when I was fairly young. So my introduction to Peruvian tradition has been through when I visit. Okay. And there are traditions like everyone in the family gets together and they write down all the difficult and challenging things from that year.
Love that.
They scrunch that up and they put it into a scarecrow.
Huh. Okay.
And then it's like, and then all of them and all the neighbors come out and put the scarecrows in a little heap in the street. I don't think this would happen in England because it's not exactly safe. And they light it on fire. So that's one. Another one is to take your luggage into the street and you have to run around the block.
Okay.
That's why I thought you said trail, because that signifies like, the good fortune.
Mm-hmm.
A funny one is if you go to the markets before Christmas, you will see underwear everywhere, but it's either green for, I think, prosperity, or gold, yellow for, I think, good luck, or it could be vice versa. And there's another one I can't remember. But it's funny little things like that. Like if you're not from Peru, you'd be like, what is happening right now? Why is this?
We have to eat lentils the last of the year.
Okay.
That shows like brings like good luck for the year and whatever.
Yeah. I love those little traditions. Cool. Okay. Sorry?
Are you going back for Christmas?
No, not this year. This year I'm gonna spend it here in London. I moved from Australia here, so when you come to a new country, you kind of build your new family and everything. Yeah. And I normally kind of go to like a friend's house or something like that and kind of do it like that. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for Black Friday so that I can start buying everyone's presents. And
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Amazing. Well, I think that covers the bulk of the questions that I had for today. But yeah, thank you so much for your time and for your sincerity with all of these questions. I'm sure with your following, a lot of people want to understand how you manage your time and how you structure things. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I had lots of
fun. Yeah, I'm glad.